it's Sarah coming up on the podcast today. Is it strange that when my family vacations, we all sleep in the same room? And then our intern Joelle is being very brave. She is black, but she says she's white on the inside. We're having a serious talk, and Paul may lose his mind next on the Hey Frase Pod. Fridays at the Fountain. If you need to unwind after a busy week, try Fridays at the Fountain in Crystal City. It's a weekly pop-up beer and wine garden. Yes, please, we're up for that. With great music in an outdoor beautiful setting. For more, crystalcity.org, or you can head to my website, heyfrase.com, or Paul's, paulwhartonstyle.com. Boom, click on the banner ad. It will tell you more. Pace the Nation, we are obsessed with their podcast, and they're also our podcast studio partners. Pacer's Running Store has a great podcast. Check them out, pacethenationpodcast.com for more details.
Yeah.
We're back! We're back, bitches!
Hey, Frase.
What's the phrase that you hear every day?
Hey, Frase.
What's the phrase that you hear every day? Hey, Frase.
Oh, you ain't got nothing? Come on. What?
I
don't want to be loud.
Tune in, yeah, you gotta tune in. Sarah Fraser on the mic and she about to begin. The co-host with the most.
Paul Wharton looking fleek.
Take it from me, you should
Be listening. From the, I'm like,
where are we? Second guess, separated from the rest. Entertaining nonetheless. Many topics to address. She's a glamorous, the number one hostess.
Woo!
Hey, Fresh, Paul Wharton, AJ with the news and pop culture, Joelle the intern.
Oh, I
back.
love it.
We're back. Paul, oh my God, I missed your face so much over the past week.
Fraser, Sarah Fraser, I love you.
I know.
What is that? It's always some random shit playing.
Honestly, here's the thing, because you know I always talk about this. I run the board on the show, which I really shouldn't, but we can't afford a producer yet. So every time I fucking let it run over, and it plays the next soundbite.
I love it.
Don't even. I know. I'm the worst.
I love it.
Anyway,
we're a mess.
We are a mess. I'm so glad I'm back from Maine.
Hi, darling. Welcome back. We have been some vacationing fools this summer.
We honestly have. I mean, I feel like, actually, I told our friends at Fox 5, I was like, hey, guys, I got one more vacation. And the boss looked at me like, he honestly like had this phase and he did this like head thing where he went back. Like he was like, yeah, again.
Paul did?
Yes. I was like, it's just one more, Paul, I swear. And then I'll be back here.
I love it. Where are you going next?
Nowhere. I'm here for good.
Oh, that was the last one.
That was the last one. I'm thinking about going to this female podcast convention out in LA in October, but I don't know.
Great. Let's go.
I need to stay here and hustle.
Look, crickets. Wonderful. Where are we staying? Crickets. That's the thing. You got to be female.
I know. I was actually surprised they're doing an all women's female podcast. Work It or something. WERK. Anyway, if you're a podcaster, you want to go. I mean, it's supposed to be really interesting, but I don't know.
Have fun, all of us.
Yeah. How have you been? I have so much to update you about. I had a crazy vacation week in Maine. My boyfriend was so good about staying with my family for 8 days, but he did have one complaint.
Okay, can I hear that?
Yeah. Well,
or are you going to talk about it later?
No. We can talk about it now. He was saying, because my family is very close. Okay. And he was saying that it might be like a little too close. Mm-hmm. We went up to Greenville, Maine, which I had never been to. It's kind of in northern Maine, this like lake town, beautiful. And so we rented this little camp for a couple nights. And the upstairs was all open, and it had 3 twin beds and a queen-size bed. So my mom and brother and I walk up, and we're like, this is great. We'll all sleep together. You know, like my niece in one bed, my mom, my brother, and then Dan and I could sleep in the queen.
And there was 2 bedrooms left.
There were 2 bedrooms downstairs, which nobody took. So do you think that's weird? Because Dan was like, it was a little much to be this close.
Yeah.
All the time. You think that's too much?
I need my space. Yeah.
So if you were there, you would have said, hey, I'm going to take one of the downstairs bedrooms.
Well, I would have liked to have, but you know, when I went to Great Gardens, we were in 11 bedrooms, and my mom and I slept in the same bed because she thought that Big Edie and Little Edie were going to come out and haunt us.
When you go stay at your mom's in Delaware, do you sleep in the same room as her then?
No, God, no. No, I have like 3 rooms at her house.
Oh, because I would almost stay.
I'm like Dominique Devereaux from Dynasty. I do not sleep in the same room as my clothes. Do you remember that? Oh, honey,
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's fun. She totally spoils me.
Oh my God.
But anyway, so tell me more about Dan.
So anyway, we had a good time. He was just, I think he is funny in that sense. He needs a lot of him time, which I tell you, oftentimes we butt heads about, because I'm like, what? Like, we should be all hanging out together all the time. Like my family, car rides together, the dog's throwing up in the car, like my niece is having a meltdown.
Everybody's laughing and singing songs and stuff?
Everybody's laughing. Yes, we are completing that family. My brother chats the entire time, and Dan is just He's like, he needs some him time, but he doesn't get it. And he always tells me, he's like, I didn't have any time to recharge on our vacation. I'm like, you don't need to recharge. You had plenty of time. I mean, really, honestly.
What was his biggest complaint?
That sleeping all in the same room. He,
Okay.
because every time anybody like moved, you heard all the beds creak, like, it was like creak all night long. He was like, "What the hell?" I mean,
God.
I'm like, "Who cares? That's what family bunking
That's
is all
what
about."
Ambien's for.
Yeah, take
When
an
you have to
Ambien.
sleep in a room full of people, you pop a 10 milligram Ambien, and you don't care what they're doing.
Yeah,
Whacking
exactly.
off, farting, who cares?
Exactly.
I slept right through it.
Yeah, exactly. I know. That's what I'm like. My mom, she's almost 70, so now she doesn't hear much or whatever, and she goes to bed every night. She gets the best night's sleep. I mean, sounding old sounds great because it's like every night we're like. The next day, it'd be like, "Oh, who was like making a lot of noise?" Or it seemed like Kimber was up and talking in her sleep. My mom was like, "Really?"
He would wake up being Inspector Gadget trying to figure shit out. Well, we're like, who was that made the bed creak last night about 2:10?
Exactly.
Like, he got to go.
Oh my God, I have so much. I mean, next week I got to talk more about Dan.
But you had fun.
Oh my God, we had a great time. I'm obsessed with them. Like, I love my family. I have so much fun. My brother, my niece. My niece is 11 years old. She's hell on wheels. You can't even keep up. She loves dancing, right? And she's half Jamaican, so she does all this bucking move, all these things, which we're like, is this appropriate for 11 years old? I have no idea. She tells us it is.
Sure.
She's
like, it's fine.
Yeah, we're like, what are you doing?
She's like, I'm Jamaican.
Yeah.
I can do these things, man.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what she does.
Yeah.
So I had a great time with her. The only, I'm going to do a little blog about all the great places we went in Greenville. Dan got to see a moose, which was awesome.
Nice.
Out in the woods. We spent 2 hours in the car together, moose hunting, and we ended up finding one, which was awesome. So we'd seen one in the flesh. Have you ever seen a moose?
We're so different. Sometimes I just look at you and think, how did I get here? Like, ain't got something. Give it up for the believers, because in what world would a moose hunter come in the same space as somebody that does not want to sleep in the same room as his clothes? Okay? It's too much. You sleep with 10,000 people in the room, and I don't want to sleep with my clothes.
We had the best time. Then what else? The other thing I was going to tell you that was so creepy, and this, you were saying this like sparked you a memory. So my mom, she lives in her little house, and so we were staying there a couple nights too before we got ready to come back. And every day we all go for a walk together. I mean, literally the family does everything. I'm not kidding. Like, we get up, everybody sits and has coffee together and talks.
I love it.
Then we all go for a walk together. Like, I do feel for Dan. There is no you time.
Okay.
Everyone's with each other 24/7. Like, doors are always open. Everybody's in and out. I'd say the bathroom is like the only space that they give you.
Sure.
So we're out walking, and this guy in a yellow Mustang, gray hair, older guy, appeared to have some sort of clown top on, or clown, like the ruffles, is driving down the street in Maine. And remember the ice cream music, like when the ice cream truck that would be in your...
Me.
He had that music playing from his car, not from like the interior radio.
Was he driving slow?
Like, and yes,
God.
It was the craziest thing. I thought to myself, I know why Stephen King has written so many horror movies about Maine, because Maine has some of the craziest, creepiest wood creatures you have ever. I mean, it was bizarre. I was like, Mom.
Wood creature.
I said, Mom, this nutsack is living down the road. Who is this guy? He is driving around in a yellow Mustang playing.
She's like, oh, that's Stan. Did she know him?
No,
What's his name?
She's like, no. But she's not alarmed at all. She's like, oh, I don't know. I guess I'll have to. She's like, you think that's creepy? I was like, yes. I think it's so creepy.
I guess I have to keep a watch out. Did she say something like that?
No, she was like, oh, well, she did finally. We were like, Mom, you've got to ask around. She's like, I'm getting ice cream truck music. I want to play it for you.
I saw an ice cream truck this weekend in Delaware. They have them in my mom's neighborhood.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. I'm like, I haven't seen an ice cream truck for years. But anyhow, so yeah, she finally was like, it was honestly this. Coming from the guy's vehicle, not his speakers, like an outdoor speaker.
And he was driving under 10 miles per hour?
Yes.
That shit is scary. I'd run. I'd just take off running.
My mom was not
in
concerned
slow motion.
She's like, oh, he's probably lonely. I'm like, yeah, lonely and looking for kids.
Oh.
Anyway, that was my trip. What's been going on with you? I feel like you said, we live two different lives. I was moose hunting. You were probably shopping at Jimmy Choo. I don't know,
no, they're now Michael Kors. Ew.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Unless they become a sponsor. In that case, yay, we love you. No, actually, I went to my mom this weekend. I did not realize how much I miss hanging out with my mom.
Oh, you
I
guys
have so much fun with that woman. So Saturday, I got myself up and together. I headed out to Delaware. We hardly left her neighborhood. I was hanging out with old people. I was like the Blanche of the Golden Girls, okay? Like the young hot one. You know, I could tell my little stories. Everybody's older than me. It was so much fun. But let me tell you what we did. So on Saturday night, well, as soon as I get there, she says her new friend, for one thing, I told you when my mom and I stopped talking for like a month.
Yeah.
She went out and got a life.
Right.
She has friends.
Which actually turned out to be a great thing, right? Because, yes, she got a life. Now she likes Delaware.
Well, because my mom had a lot of friends where she used to live in Maryland. And
right.
But she moved there and she didn't have any friends and all this. And I was trying to be her friend, her son, her everything, you know. And she's got a husband, too. But, you know, oh, Chip.
Yeah,
oh, Chip. Hey, Chip. How you
know.
doing? So anyway, she says that we're going to this barbecue at Mickey's house. So I'm like, okay, this is great. She makes some coleslaw. My mom's super gourmet cook. She doesn't put mayonnaise in her coleslaw. I don't know how that works, but it's fabulous. Anyway, So we go to Mickey's house for a barbecue. We get in there. Of course, we're an hour and a half late because we're playing music. The karaoke machine's on. She's doing her hair. I'm on the mic. I'm like, you know, putting my shorts on. She's on the mic. That's how we do. We go to Mickey's house. We eat really quickly. And then Mickey says, oh, you know that new movie Kidnap that's coming out today?
Oh, yeah, with Halle Berry.
That came out yesterday. I have it on the Fire Stick.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So she's like, we're having movie night. And she turns into like Oprah right in front of me. I'm like, oh my God, does this woman know me? Like, what? This is exactly the kind of shit I like. They had so much food. We go downstairs in this woman's house. She's got a full movie theater, like the screening room that's like a real theater. Popcorn machine popping. She's got brownies and cookies, wine, champagne, everything. Blankets on all the seats. I'm like, why am I working? Why don't I just stop all this madness and go move in with my mom?
Yeah, exactly.
And just go around to her neighbor's house and hang out and eat their shit and watch their movies. So we have a great time.
Great.
We have a fabulous time on Saturday night, and then Sunday my sister came out for brunch.
Oh,
which
so
was a
fun.
lot of fun. Yeah.
Wait, is she in Delaware or Maryland?
No, my sister's in Maryland.
Oh, that's so
she
fun.
came out. She and her boyfriend. I took everybody out to a big seafood dinner.
Oh, yum.
Yeah, we had all this great seafood. We just had a really great time. And I actually have to be honest. I cursed you out.
What? When?
I cursed you out because we actually had a photo shoot with one of our partners yesterday, Mervis Diamonds. And I'm like, you know how you're not ready to go? And you start thinking of all the reasons why you have to go, and then you blame it on somebody.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, you know what? That bitch didn't even run by my schedule and make sure I was available to do this shoot. Who the hell is she to book my schedule, making me leave my mama when she just had a whole week with her damn mama? You know what? She gonna hear it from me.
Wait a minute.
Oh, I was cursing you out.
Didn't I tell you like 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
That we were gonna.
I
do
told
a
you
shoot.
in the summertime I'm not here on Monday or Tuesday.
I love like I tell you this schedule and you're like, oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm not available. I'm like, but that's when they can do it. You're like, I'm still not available. I'm like, well, when are we gonna do
I'm
this?
here Wednesday through Friday afternoon, and then I'm out. But that's only in the summer.
You.
After Labor Day, I'll be here full time.
Okay. Well, now we know. Everybody knows. All right. I won't book
No,
you
but
Monday,
I
Tuesday.
cursed you out in a very fun way. But I came, didn't I? And
we ended up having, you were there. Yeah, it was great.
We ended up having a fabulous time out at Mervis Diamonds out in Tyson's with our friend
terrific.
Jonathan. Aren't they great?
Yeah, they are. And they have unbelievable jewelry and all price points. A lot of wedding. They're known for their diamond wedding engagement rings, men's rings, and you can customize everything.
Yeah, I thought that
good.
was really cool. And they have this new thing called Takori Journeys. Did you know about this? Did you hear Jonathan talk about this?
Jonathan was talking about it yesterday.
So, we all want to be proposed to, right? And Sarah and I have been doing a hell of a vacation summer. So what about a destination proposal?
Oh, I love that.
So they have this new program called Takori Journeys. So with each qualifying Takori purchase, you can receive a Takori Journeys travel voucher, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, that
so
is
basically, you get a diamond ring, and it allows you to travel and get money towards your travel.
Whatever you want to do, honeymoon, if you're going to have a destination wedding, if you buy a Takori ring, and it starts this weekend at Mervis, you can go to mervisdiamond.com to find out more. But you basically get these great vouchers that, you end up saving quite a bit of money because you buy the ring, you get this, you can do the honeymoon, anything there.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, so definitely. And if you're in if you want an engagement ring, maybe you're at the point, a lot of people are upgrading, email us. You can email paulwhartonstyle@yahoo.com or at HeyFrase, Sarah at HeyFrase.com. Email the two of us. We'd love to bring you in, introduce you to Jonathan at Mervis if you're getting an engagement ring. Or send us a picture if you hate your engagement ring secretly and you want something different.
Right.
Because I would never trust Dan. I'm sorry. I would not want Dan to pick out my ring.
And you know what? If I never get engaged,
credit.
I'm just going to actually go through the store. And I was thinking this yesterday. I want to go through there and pick some stuff up for myself,
Hell yeah.
That I just put on my own little wish list.
I think that's terrific.
I'm registering for life. Just because. No reason. There's no baby coming. There's no wedding. Just because.
Just me.
Yeah.
We have so many stories, and I can't wait to get Joelle, our intern, on the mic. So many things to talk about, but I was going to read this email. We do love your email feedback all the time, and what the health debate keeps raging on. One of these days, we're going to get our acts together and all do a. I'm doing plant-based like 4 days a week. That's it, which is a struggle because I do crave meat all the time. So anyway, but people are not happy that I basically came on here and was like, hey, look, you should watch this documentary, and I'm obsessed. And now I get tons of, not really hate mail. I mean, I don't care.
But why do people mind what you do in your life and your choices? You're only sharing your life.
Because people feel that we have a platform, and when, in this case, whether it's me or you or whatever, but when I go on here and I'm like, hey, meat's terrible for you, dairy's awful, watch this documentary, this is like leading to cancer, and look what and people really get pissed at me when I'm like, the American Diabetes Association is taking your money and is essentially not interested in a cure. They're basically interested in just keeping the research going because that's where the money is. People get so pissed, and I'm sure I'll get more emails.
Okay.
So, anyway, but Stacy wrote to me and she said, hey, Sarah, absolutely love the podcast, but lately I have to say I'm really disappointed in all this veganism that you're pushing because you watched one documentary on Netflix. I beg you to do other research and have even included a link to an article of reviewing the film. I believe all people should eat however they want and do what is best for them. All of our bodies are individual and we have to figure out what works best. Just to tell you a little bit about my story, I've been overweight my entire life, and in my late 20s I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And that was about 8 years ago. Last December, the type 2 diabetes had led me to develop liver disease. I also had PCOS and had not had my period in 6 years. Last year I started is it a ketogenic
yes.
way of eating, and I'm so proud to say I have reversed my liver disease, I've reversed type 2 diabetes, and I'm getting my period. A low-carb way of eating is right for my body. And I do take insult to films like What the Health because it disrespects something that has literally saved my life. Just consider that this film is a piece of propaganda. Consider all sources, not just one documentary. I love you and Paul. Well, look, I mean, I said...
Well, you have a funny way of showing it. No, just kidding. I love you too, Stacey. No, but I think to each his own. Like, I get on here and talk about going to happy hour every day. I'm not promoting alcoholism because I don't think I'm one. Am I? Am I? Everybody's like silent and the whole room fell silent. Okay? No, I'm just saying this is my life.
I said this to you. I don't care. I'm like, do whatever you want. Do I come on here and tell people, like, this is it, you have to be vegan? I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want.
Right. But I love that this has worked for Stacy. And I think that is fantastic. And I love hearing, other sides of other opinions about things because this has worked for her. So I think that's great. I mean, I don't know if my life is working for me, but I sure am having fun. You know what I mean? I don't really know. I'm figuring it all out.
Well, people have sent me a lot of articles I need to read about this. And my thing on food is always going to be a hot topic. It's sort of like, name a discussion, politics, right? Race, politics. And it's always going to be people that disagree or whatever. And I just personally believe that unless you really know where your food is coming from, unless you know the farm that the animals are raised, I think most of our food is filled with a lot of shit.
The only thing I can't understand about your choices right now with this plant 4 thing is either you believe it or you don't. Like 4 days a week to do 3 days of shit you don't believe in, which is eating meat. I don't really get that. Plant 4. I mean, it's like you're fighting for your rights 4 days a week, and then the other 3 days.
I need a break.
What the hell? What is that?
Excuse me.
I don't understand.
Excuse me. That's what works for my body type.
Is that what works for your body type? Okay. But I don't know that I would really call you a vegan.
I'm not?
A 4-day vegan.
I say I'm vegan-ish because here's my thing: is I totally believe. In my opinion, I think dairy, all that stuff, is filled with a lot of shit. It's not the stuff that we ate 100 years ago when you owned your own cow and you went out and you got your own milk. We don't.
Right.
It's all
you
processed.
You don't drink milk. You do
almond
milk or
coconut
soy milk or something. Okay.
And I do that 7 days.
Right.
Okay, I'm on that 7 days.
Okay.
But the hard part is with vegan, like I've just started making meals. It just is a lot more. And this is the part I disagree with vegans. Vegans will come on and they'll go, oh, it's so easy.
And
it's so cheap.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And it's not cheap. And if I can't imagine if I had 2 other mouths to feed, how you get your kids to do it and all, because it requires a ton of prep, getting vegetables, cutting all those vegetables up. I'm sorry.
Let the emails roll. Sarah at heyfrase.com. Don't email me.
CC Paul. Look, we have a ton of stories to talk about before AJ gets to her news and pop culture. So, Paul, I wanted to. You had a great story, but Melissa Rivers has come out. She's going to write a tell-all book about her mother, and she's holding nothing back. She's even publishing some of Joan Rivers' unpublished and unused jokes in her personal files. And Melissa says that her mom would want it this way, and that her mom saved every single joke. She has thousands of jokes dating back to the 50s and 60s. But you actually said that you'd been to Joan Rivers' home?
Yeah.
When?
I lived in New York from 1997 to 2000 and I don't know, four, whatever.
So jealous.
So maybe like in 2002, Joan Rivers was hosting a fashion show. Okay, PETA people, I'm coming, but I was only there to see Joan. It was a fur fashion show.
Oh my God.
Right.
Okay.
I know, right? It's like, this was in 2002 or whatever. So she was hosting this show. She was having a great time, sipping her wine. I was there with a friend of hers. Okay. So after they hosted the show, she got 2 fur coats to host the show. She left with them.
Wow.
And she invited us to come to her apartment. And we went up. We were all the way down in Soho, and we went up to the Upper East Side to like 5th Avenue, and I think it was 60-something, like 62nd Street, whatever. So you go up, you get in the elevator, you go up, you come out of the elevator, it's all this marble, you walk up to the door, and you go in, and it's this huge ballroom-looking, gold-leafed palace penthouse. I mean, it's just completely amazing.
Did it overlook Central Park? Does it overlook Central Park, or did
it? It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God.
It did. Yeah, it overlooks Central Park. There was like a terrace off the dining room.
Okay.
I mean, it was just stunning. It was absolutely stunning. And there was like a guy there working in her house. It was late at night. It was like midnight.
Wow.
Yeah, he was working in her house, and he gave us wine, and he served it on a silver platter. I mean, it was like severe. And I was only like 20 years old. It was like 23 or 22.
Wow.
Yeah, trying to act all fabulous and Joan.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I would have died. I'm so sorry I didn't meet her. She was on my list of people that I wanted to meet.
And at the time, I remember getting her phone number, but for some reason, I never followed up. And it was always something that I said, you know what? I'm going to reach out to her, and I'm going to ask her to do my show, like when I was at the CW.
Oh my God, I bet she would have.
I bet she would have. And the holiday show and all that. And then I said, I'm going to reach out. And even right before she died, I was still saying in my head,
wow,
I'm going to reach out to her and remind her of that day and da-da-da-da. And I'm sure she'll remember me and it'll be great. And then it never happened. I didn't do it.
Wow. I know. Well, she was one of those people you never thought would die.
Right.
Because she was just such an icon and such a worker. And But anyway, so that book is going to be out this fall. And if you're into, and of course, Melissa will talk about too, Joan was so suicidal. Melissa Rivers' father committed suicide. So she's going to talk about all those
kind of
skeletons.
I didn't know Joan was suicidal.
Yeah. Joan almost thought about taking her own life.
After Edgar?
After Edgar died. And then she went through, the whole Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
There was a big period of time for a couple of years there where she really couldn't get many gigs because she was so blacklisted from all of Hollywood. And so that's when she was basically, Edgar died, her daughter resented her, and she was like ready to take her own life.
Well, she was offered her own show on Fox. She was basically the 20-year guest co-host on Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
And she was always there whenever he was out. She filled in, then she came on and guest co-hosted with him many times. And then 20 years later, she was offered her own deal from Fox, to do her own late night show. And from the very beginning, Barry Diller and Edgar didn't get along, and they were fighting all the time. And then it was just doomed from the very beginning.
And I do think, and people can say anything that they want, but I think there has never been, and I think it will take many, many years for there to become no one ever did a red carpet like Joan.
Right.
You know, and when Joan and Melissa would host red carpet, I mean, that really did start the whole who are you wearing? And nobody's been able to do that since.
Sure.
And now they all suck as far as I'm concerned,
right.
you know, because they're too nice and they're all very worried about they want the celebrities to come back. And Joan didn't care. You know,
right.
people would walk away. And then it became a thing of you'd come over and it would be like, okay, Joan, be nice. And she would, but she made red carpets. And I do think there is an example of such a one of a kind, like she cannot be replicated.
Right.
And I think you see it. I think people don't care as much
Just
anymore.
such a strong woman. And she talked about how when her husband committed suicide, how she was millions of dollars in debt. Because he was a terrible business person. And let me tell you something. She worked her ass off. Actually, we need to start doing stand-up. Side note. I mean, really, she worked her butt off. So what do you think? You think Kathy Griffin is the next Joan?
I think she made her millions, too. You know, she was one of the people that got on QVC and HSN before that became a celebrity thing. And I think she made a fortune off the jewelry, the clothes. We need that.
Yeah.
When are we going to start designing jewelry?
I'm doing that.
Yeah, I know. You're getting in the watch game.
I am. I'm trying. But I'm doing, actually, I need everybody to chant and pray for me because I'm going to Tampa to HSN the first week of October.
You going to be on?
Nam yo ho renge kyo, nam yo ho renge kyo, nam yo ho renge kyo.
What does that mean?
That's my Buddhist chant. That's my Buddhist chant. No, I'm going to have a pitch meeting. I have a pitch meeting for my new products. I have my 6 existing products. I have 6 new skincare products, and I have 8 new hair care products. And I'm taking all my shit to Tampa, and I'm pitching the shit out of it.
Oh, I want you to get on. That would be amazing.
I need a check. I need a HSN check. And now QVC just bought HSN, so, you know, I get in there and then I work my way up to QVC.
I think this will get people fired up, but this guy's Instagram, you know, this story's happened on Friday, but I wanted to talk about it because, you know, I love body image issues. I've struggled with my own, but a guy on Instagram did a tribute to his curvy wife, which sparked a huge backlash. You've probably seen this guy. His name is Tripp, and Robbie Tripp, but he goes by @Tripp on Instagram, posted this picture. Did you see this, Pong? You saw the one of him holding his wife. And
yeah.
I don't even think I would call her curvy, to be honest, but she's in a cute bathing suit that's got oranges. They're on the beach. And he writes, I love this woman and her curvy body. As a teenager, I was often teased by my friends for my attraction to girls on the thicker side, ones who were shorter and curvier, girls that the average basic bro might refer to as, quote, chubby or even fat. Then as I became a man and started to educate myself on issues such as feminism and how the media marginalizes women by portraying a very narrow and very specific standard of beauty, thin, tall, lean, I realized how many men have bought into that lie. For me, there is nothing sexier than this woman right here. Thick thighs, big booty, cute little side roll, etc. Her shape and size won't be the one featured on the cover of Cosmo, but it's the one featured in my life and in my heart. There's nothing sexier to me than a woman who is both curvy and confident. This gorgeous... hold on. Where did the rest of it go? Sorry. Anyway, he goes on to basically say... He goes on to basically say that he loves her curves and all this. So...
I find nothing wrong with this. I'm sorry. I'm waiting for you to get to the part where he just goes off on her or something. I mean, I think this is a nice tribute to the woman that he loves.
Well, a lot of people are pissed because they're basically saying that the fact that he wrote such statements as like, well, her body will never be on Cosmo magazine is basically the whole problem with society. Is like, this woman isn't that curvy. She should be on Cosmo. And when you sit there and
take that shit up with Cosmo, not with the man that loves this woman that's professing his love for her. And how come women can get on Instagram and say, curvy girls rock, love my curves, but this man can't say he loves his woman's curves? He goes, get the hell out of here.
The rest of it goes, guys, rethink that what society has told you that you should desire. A real woman is not a porn star or a bikini mannequin or a movie character. She's real. She has beautiful stretch marks on her hips and cute little dimples on her booty. Girls, don't ever fool yourself by thinking you have to fit a certain mold to be loved and appreciated. This is a guy out there who's going to celebrate you for exactly who you are. Someone who will love you like I love my Sarah.
I love it.
You do?
I think it is great. Yeah. I really do. And if he was professing his love for a size 0, 1, oh, and look, and you can see her bones. Ooh, and how her clavicles are sticking out. Ooh, I love every bit of vein I can see in her arm, but she ain't got no fat on her. This girl is a 0.5% body fat. I mean, then people would be like, you know what? This is preposterous. This is crazy. You know, even then, I respect people's opinions. This is his opinion. This is the way this man feels. He loves this woman.
But shouldn't you, I mean...
Oh.
Okay, AJ, what do you look like you wanted to say something. What's your take? Because I think it is patronizing. I think that he's basically capitalizing on the whole, self-body image thing. And honestly, the fact that he's like, her thick thighs and stretch, I just feel like...
She has thick thighs and stretch marks, so what?
Yeah, but I feel like he's essentially just saying to her, like, I think it's almost like a backhanded compliment. You know what I'm saying? Mm-mm. Instead of just, because to me, if he really loved her body, he'd be like, I just love this woman exactly the way she is. I love everything about her. This is what she does, her spirit, her this, that, and the other. Instead, he's basically like backhanded fat shaming her, going, well, I love your curves, and you know what, my wife will never be on the cover of Cosmo. It's like, no, asshole, you ought to be fighting to get her on the cover of Cosmo instead of sitting there.
Who says the cover of Cosmo is winning?
Well, I don't think that, they still are winning because they still are out there and they aren't putting women over the size 2 on the magazine.
I just don't. So unless he just loves this woman, he can't say why he loves this woman. This man and the rest of us using social media as our own network, as our platform, he's only allowed to say that I just love her. That's all. I just love her. He can't say all the reasons why, the things he appreciates about her.
He should add more than her weight and the way she looks. But essentially, to me, he's taking the meaning out of this because he's focusing on the way she looks. What he's trying to make
society and everybody that he sees walking past them, walking down the street, that looks back and gives her a double take, not in a positive way, because people sense energy and people say things and people are rude. And maybe this man is saying these things because he sees how people react to he and his woman walking down the street. Maybe that's the case.
What do you think, AJ?
I read the article and I wanted to point out one of the quotes that really made sense to me. This is Julia, a sex and relationship editor. She says, people should date who they want, but mentioning a person's otherness, like weight, race, gender, makes it seem like you want a medal for dating her for being larger. She says, finding non-size 0 women attractive does not make a man a good person. It just makes him not an idiot.
So wait, okay, if I did this with color, if I was like, I'm dating Paul, and I love your dark skin, and wouldn't that be offensive? Would you be pissed?
I'm still caught on the dating Paul thing. Can we use someone else as this metaphor? Just any name, any old other name, please. No, I'm just kidding. People can say
your beautiful skin, Paul.
Yeah,
and
somebody's like, ooh, that bronzy chocolateness, that almondiness.
Yeah. And I love how...
I would think it was odd.
Thank you.
But it's a little bit different with weight because walking down the street every day... I mean, I have lots of friends that are considered overweight. And they feel a certain kind of way. Before we leave the house, they've got to be wearing this specific thing because they don't feel comfortable in a lot of things. Walk down the street, they're very aware of people looking at them, talking about them, and people do. We hear the whispers. We hear the little laughs and things like that. I have a friend that's really overweight, and she only takes selfies of just her face, and she holds the camera way up, and she sticks her neck way out, and that's the only picture you'll ever see of her. She's hiding behind someone or just pictures of her face. So she knows when we walk down the street, people, tap each other and point at her. So that's why I don't think it's the same as race or gender. This man is celebrating something about this woman that she's probably been ridiculed about maybe her whole life. I mean, maybe not this particular woman, but people in general, people just aren't nice out there. So I don't know. I think it's all good. I really do.
You thought it was all good. Okay.
I do. That's what I think.
I think it's cute that he's, pointing it out. But it did seem a little far to go, her cellulite and dimples on her butt. I don't know. That seems a little bit too far.
Dude, anything else you want is when she's taking a crap and it was just and her thighs are spread on the toilet.
But if you really love someone, don't you start to love
embrace all their imperfections?
But yeah, those little things about them, and you're just suppose you're dating somebody that's older and you're like, oh my God, and and I love, and every laugh line around his face just makes me think of the good times we've had, every single wrinkle around his eye.
Get over here, let me fill him with both.
Right, I'd be completely obsessed. Don't get me letters now. Don't pull me into this shit.
When are we going for facelifts?
You need
together?
some Paul Wharton Beauty Botanic Youth Cream.
Your age spots.
Let me just put some cream on that.
Hot.
Hold on.
Yeah, can we cover up those age spots? What can we do?
This is all fun, people. But see, that's what I don't like. I don't like not being able to have an opinion and not being able to say what you think.
I understand. I hear what you're saying. I think the thing for me is the whole thing. I think the whole self-care movement is trying to get away altogether from even focusing on, I know this is idealistic, because I feel the same way about people of all different colors. I feel like we should just stop referring to each other as like, oh, that person's black, that person's Asian. No, we're just people. And I think that, for me, the self-care movement is stop. It's not like what size I am or what size you're, oh, I'm celebrating your curves, I'm celebrating us. It's just, you're a person. Are you healthy? That's what I want it to be.
Have you ever had somebody try to describe someone to you, but they don't want to say their race? And you're on the other end like, yeah, she's tall, long hair, brown, long hair, yeah, nice figure. I think it's about a size 6. Oh, her eyes are brown. Oh, brown. Okay, their eyes are brown. Okay, well, okay. What else can you tell me about this woman? Well, she's got a great personality. Is the bitch black or white? Okay, god damn it. I mean, just get to the point.
I never know if people like saying black or African American, and if they're really professional, I'm like, can I say black?
Oh, I know.
Is black
I don't know
not
what to say
professional?
either. Yeah. Wait, what
Right.
are you supposed to say? African American or black?
Oh, God, supposed to say whatever you want to say. I'm black. I'm African American. I'm all of that.
Okay.
You know,
And do you call a white person Caucasian? I don't know.
No, I call him white. He white. She white. Speaking of black and white.
Yeah. Tell us.
No, it's just so interesting.
Oh, I love topics like this.
It's so interesting. And, we have a new intern named Joelle.
Oh, yeah. She's going to be
Is this mic working?
No.
Okay, come over here for a
Come
second,
over.
Joelle.
Yeah, Joelle, get on EJ's mic here.
Before the show, we were talking, and Joelle said something that was a little bit alarming to me. She said
love this
she
topic.
referred to herself as an Oreo.
Okay.
Okay. And for those of you that have never heard that term, I'm sure there's like one of you out there. But that is a person that's black on the outside and they feel white on the inside. Now, let me tell you why I was so horrified with this.
What is it when you're the opposite? Like, I feel that way. Like, I'm white on the outside, but I feel black on the inside.
Like
What's
an
that?
Inside out Oreo.
Inside out Oreo.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go on. By the way,
Okay,
Joelle's
that's
got
Joelle.
brown eyes. She's got a really nice...
She's black. She's black, people. I'm taking the mystery out. She's got curly hair. It's really nice. She's got nice
Cute
lips.
necklace on. Yeah, beautiful
Cute
lips.
necklace.
Yeah.
So basically, she said she's an Oreo, and I remember the reason why I looked at you like you're crazy, and I'm still thinking you're like a little bit crazy, but I'm going to help you through this. I'm going to help you through it. But well, she started off saying she doesn't date black guys, and
Okay.
she's a black woman. I'm like, okay, first flag. Okay, no problem.
Which, by the way, this prompted, because we're going to talk about this
Yeah.
story. Essence Magazine just did a story this week. And I love this podcast because we have such a diverse group of people listening. And they essentially asked black men why they don't date black women. And in the black community, according to this article on Essence, this is still a big issue. And so black men, they surveyed about 500 and they broke down why.
Okay.
So the three of us, we were just starting to have this conversation about this article, and that's when Joelle goes, "Oh, I'm an Oreo."
And she said, I don't date black men.
And
And,
she said,
then
I
she
don't-
said she's an Oreo. So the reason why I'm like, huh? And I offered to take her to Cleveland for a nice long weekend, in which case she'd come back, empowered. Because when I was in the 5th grade,
Okay.
I grew up around, many white people. And I had a group of friends that were all white. And they had a group called Tech, T-E-C, Terry, Eric, Chris. And then when I came along, they call it Tech-P.
Check.
Okay. I mean, which it should have been Pecked. Like
Pecked,
Paul, Eric, Chris, Terry.
Yeah,
but anyway,
Pecked.
I was on the end. I was a new guy in town. Even though I had lived there my whole life. But I digress. So one time on the way home, we were on the way home. They were going to drop me off. And they said to me, "Oh, Paul, we love you so much. You're not like the other black people." And I said,
Oh wow.
I'm black. I'm white trapped in a black body. That's what I said.
Okay. At the time, right?
In the 5th grade. Got out of the car and it started replaying in my mind. White trapped in a black body. Is that the way I feel? Huh, that's interesting. I went to Cleveland that summer. It was right. We were just getting out of school. I would go to Cleveland for the whole summer. That played over in my head, and I knew it didn't feel right. I had a strong black mother. I had a strong black father. I
Right.
knew the difference between the races, but I also, had lots of white friends, but I just had an issue with that. So when I went to Cleveland that summer, from 5th to 6th grade, I became like a little mini Black Panther. I really did. I was like, let me get myself together, because let me go to Cleveland.
Yep.
Huff Avenue, where my grandmother who passed away lived, it was in the ghetto. My other grandmother lived in East Cleveland, the ghetto. I mean, but
sure,
beautiful homes and all that kind of stuff, but it's the hood.
Okay.
No doubt about it. And I just needed to really be around my family and figure out why I was feeling that way. And I came back a lot more enlightened. So it just surprised me to hear all these years later, a 22 or 23-year-old Black woman still feel like she's an Oreo, because I feel like it's a phase you go through as a kid when you're trying to figure shit out. And I was happy to move past that and work through it. So you're still there. What's going on?
I just think because I grew up in Montgomery County and I went to primarily white schools, I only really have white Caucasian friends that's just kind of how it happened. And I've only dated really white guys, Middle Eastern guys. I've never had serious relationship with Black guys, and a lot of times Black guys don't like me. So
well, that's okay. So all right,
that's not what you
thoughts?
said before. You said that all the Black guys that come up to you are ghetto and ratchet,
ghetto.
and
That's
you're
what I'm
not
saying.
having
The
it.
type of Black guys that I want to come up to me, they don't come up to me.
Why not?
Are
Why
you
do you
giving
think
them
that
more
is?
than a second to? Are you just looking at them like ghetto?
No, but they come up to me, hey ma, what's your name is? I don't want you to come up to me and say that. I want you to come up to me respectful. I want you to say, hi, my name is blank. How are you doing today?
But why does he have to talk like you talk?
Well, he doesn't have to talk how I talk.
You don't have to like him. I'm just saying, but
He doesn't have to talk like he doesn't have respect, or he doesn't know how to talk to a woman. Or
so how do the white guys come up? Hello, ma'am. I'm like, no, they don't do that either.
No, they don't come up to me like that, but
they say sup. I know them white boys.
A lot of times they just say, hey, what's up? How are you? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, okay, we'll have a conversation. A lot of times I like to sit in my little corner and let them come to me, or my friend brings them over. But, I
You go
know.
fishing for white guys?
No.
So you don't date, have you ever dated a Black, I mean, you're young,
I've dated a Black guy, but it wasn't like he was like my best friend, and we dated for a while, but
do you feel closed off? You feel closed off to dating a Black man?
I do not feel closed off to dating a Black guy. If one of you guys have
We're making some progress. But wait, let me just be super honest about this, because
that's fascinating to me.
I feel like, I feel really great about being a gay Black man. Okay, first of all. Secondly, I dated mostly white guys in my life, mainly because I have never in my whole experience gone up to someone and asked them out, ever.
White men ask you out really more often.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and I don't know if that's because that's where I am. And and then Black guys that ask me out, the hot ones, I go out with them.
Oh, well, here's my thing. And okay, maybe this is a really surface level, but I've only dated white guys, and now I feel like if I was ever single again, I would never date a white guy ever again. Because I feel like to some extent, white guys are a lot alike. They're all the same. You know what I mean? Sorry, white men that listen. But, they kind of do. Don't you feel like to some degree it's nice to date somebody that comes from a different experience than you do? I'm not talking an economic background. I'm talking that they have a different view of life. Black men to me are way more, they're just better. I
can't generalize it by race. I really can't, because the Black men that I've dated have certain things in common with the white men that I dated that I've really liked. If I really like them, I don't even really specify it by color. The only way I do that is if I'm describing, them in a very ratchet way to one of my girlfriends over cocktails. Big old black nabba jammer. Oh, girl, it was going, like that. I have to be specific, so, put them in the mindset. But, no, I mean, I have some things in common with some white guys and some things with some Black guys, and I'm open to other races. Asians I haven't dated yet.
But I think my thing is, the only Black man my mom has ever been with was my father.
Okay,
my mom
so you think that skews your view?
I think that's another big thing, because I've never seen my mom with another Black man ever in my life besides my father.
Wow.
And so I think maybe because that's what I grew up with, and then living in Montgomery County.
Damn, your daddy was putting it down strong, huh? One and done, and then here you come. See?
When you say you feel like an Oreo, right? Do you feel bad when you say that statement? I mean, that seems like a little bit like you might not really want to be who you are.
No, I think saying that means that people try to stereotype saying, oh, you don't act black. That's what people tell me all the time. And so growing up,
and you take that as I feel like you.
Growing up, people would tell me you're an Oreo.
But I feel like you like that though.
I don't like that.
Yes, you do.
I think that
because you're owning that. You're like, I'm an Oreo.
But I'm a black girl, and I mean, I don't think that I'm white. I don't think I act white. I have a lot of white friends. I, primarily hang out with white people and am around white people, but I know that I'm black. I am black. That is what I am. That's who I am.
so fascinating.
But all my life, people have said, oh my God, you're such an Oreo. Oh my God, you're this. Oh my God, you're that. And I'm like,
yeah, but that's what they have said. You have to make sure that you really do. I mean, you're saying that now, but 10 minutes ago you were on that whole Oreo kick. And I just, because as you go through life, yes, that's people that don't hang out with you, that aren't your friends, people in business, people in real life. They see you as a black woman. That's who you are.
Wait, can we talk about the next thing, which was like when we first started this, you were saying, oh, maybe we should discuss how black women treat other black women in the
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't know if Paul really wants to get into that right now.
Maybe we should save that one, because that was fascinating to me, because here's the thing. We first started this article, which I'll get into right now, about this is Essence Magazine asked single black men to share some of their perceptions floating around about dating black women to help jumpstart the conversation and dispel some of the myths out there. Okay, here are the top 7 reasons. Black men tell Essence Magazine that black women, quote, just don't seem fun. Which I think the reasons, these 7 reasons are really awful. But
I don't agree with that. I think I'm fun.
I feel like that too, but they say they feel that after a while, black women's focus shifts from the fun girlfriend to being more particular instead of solely concerned with ensuring things in the relationship are taken care of. They become more fixated on small things. I don't know how this is different than any other women. These guys seem like they just haven't dated that many women. Additional insights were that black men think black women don't offer enough support for men's careers and are more, quote, inhibited sexually.
This is crazy.
Really?
I do not agree at all.
I know some black women that hold it down. Their men lose their jobs. They like, I got you, babe. We gonna work it out. We gonna pay the bills, and I'm gonna suck you off. I mean, you know what I mean? No, I mean,
wow, all of the above.
No, I mean, he's talking about she's not uninhibited, and no, that's crazy.
Black men also said that lots of time black women don't look like they can't be bothered. We've heard men tell us that black women often come across as if they don't want to be bothered when you're out and about in public. Whether in a store, leaving the office, they often appear more focused on what's ahead instead of stopping and meeting somebody. Again, I think that's all women because, sorry, but men are creepy most of the time.
Okay. What do you think?
I think that a lot of people don't approach me because I have RBF, resting bitch face. So, like, if I'm just sitting there, everybody, I mean, my mom says it, my whole family says it. If I'm sitting there and I'm just staring off, people are like,
you have that at all.
You look like a, people tell me I look like a bitch. So, I think maybe that's why people don't approach me all the time. I'm a very nice person. So I think that maybe guys just think that you look mean, but
what about the perception? Black men in this interview and study for Essence said that they feel as though black women want what they want and are not willing to compromise. So once they're determined to either have a career or a family, that's it, and their achievements drive the relationship instead of the actual relationship.
But what woman doesn't know what they want? Or,
I mean, unless you want, it's like these guys seem like they want a doormat, right? Our friendliness is often misunderstood. If we say hello to a man, sometimes they automatically assume we want a romantic relationship with him, whereas if a woman of another ethnicity says a random hello, wants to network, or plays the damsel in distress, he often feels less threatened and more willing to share.
I think they're all individual traits. I don't know that any of these traits are based solely on race. I don't think you can generalize any of the things that they've listed here as a black woman trait or a white woman trait or, just don't.
Let me ask you too, do you still feel like, because I actually even read that headline and I was like, God, is this really an issue? Is this still an issue for the black community, or is it one at all that black men don't want to date black women? Is that real, or is that just like a crazy Essence putting this out for clicks?
I feel like it could be a little bit of both. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, it seems kind of like that to me, because I'm like, I think the 7 reasons are
I think there's a lot of black men dating black women, but there are some black men who kind of, that example I gave when I was in the 5th grade, that kind of never grew out of that. No tea, no shade. Joel. But
I'm 21. I'll move up.
You'll get there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I remember there was a athletic black guy when I was growing up, and he used to always date the white girls. And I asked him, I was like, "Why do you date white girls?" And he was like, "Oh, they're like trophies. You winning with the white girl." This is when we were kids. I'm
Right.
like, who said winning back then? But you know what I mean? Like, but that's what he felt. And the same guy, and my mother's husband is white.
Really?
White, Irish, German.
Oh, gosh.
White as white can be.
I'm ready to marry a black guy. Bring it on.
Hey,
You go
Chip.
black, you never go back.
So, yeah, so...
Thank you, Joel.
We
Next
keep it
week
moving.
on the show. All right, AJ's got our news and pop culture. You gotta come. I want to have a Sarah. Oh, you know what? And anybody can email us, sarah@heyfrase.com, Paul Wharton style at yahoo.com. But I'd be curious to see, because you are young, and I love that you're young. So
Let's get her emails so
I
we'll
wanna
have
see if
control over them.
Black women feel as though there is an issue with other black women hating on them more. Okay. Is that a real topic?
I'll just close it off on the gay side and say that in DC, there is a big divide between white gay men and black gay men.
Really?
Like, there's a bar that I always go to, Bar 9 on Peace Street. And on Friday nights, like, all the black guys are downstairs and all the white guys are upstairs. It's the craziest shit. It's like,
That
it's
is
so
so
crazy.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like, where do you go? And I'm like, wherever the bartender knows me. Like, that's where I go. Where I can push people all the way and get to the front to the fastest. That's where I go.
So crazy.
But yes,
Thanks,
it's
Joelle.
really crazy. But thank you, Joelle. That was really enlightening.
Anytime, guys.
More to come. All right, AJ has some stories for us from the week. So we need to get AJ over here to talk about news and pop culture.
I love it.
And Chris Pratt and Anna Faris. I can't believe Jennifer Lawrence is such a cheating hoe. No, I'm just kidding. No, she had nothing to do with it. But anyway, I like those rumors. Hi, AJ. How's it going?
It's going fantastic.
Hey, we promised everybody an update. Is your boyfriend like moved out of your parents' home? Does your mom still like him? What happened?
So remember that fiasco? My mom called my boyfriend. He was out of town. She balls him out, and he calls me like, "What the hell is wrong with you? Like, what is going on with your family?" And my mom is like, "What? I did the right thing. Like, this is my life. This is my house." Anyways, my family is like, we brush things under the rug. Like, we resolve it, and then we just move on. Like, the next day, we acted like
nothing ever happened.
Literally nothing ever happened. And my whole family does this. We probably should seek help because... But like now we're totally fine. We went to dinner. We got drinks. We got a little drunk, and we're all just having a good time. And I'm like, did we just forget that my mom just completely bawled out? But we're over it. So
and he's still living there for a while.
He's gonna live there until he's ready to get a new job. And well,
thank God it all worked out. That was a very emotional day. We thought something was like majorly
I was actually
happened.
Crying. Yeah, it just bothered me because I was like, why does she think she can call him? But you know what? It's her house. And
I know that's what
the thing.
When you live with family, or you live with your parents, it does. You're under the rules. All right, what have you? Oh.
Well, I don't want to minimize like your issues because I know that was a big deal for you, but
it's not that big in the grand scheme of things.
Okay, hello.
I totally agree.
I was worried about you personally because. You're an adult now, and shit really happens. Like, where you're like, I thought somebody died. I'm like, okay, we got to call. We got to send her home in a car. I better call. We got to go send her to the morgue or to the, I'm like, who died? My mom cursed out my boyfriend. I'm like,
she
what?
has so many deeper issues than that. Like, she's blind, and she like blows up like that. I'm like, oh no, what is the next thing? And then I have to diffuse the situation. So it's just a lot of pressure on me. Yeah. But there are so many other people dealing with way bigger issues, and that's why I always have to bring myself down and, like, remember. I'm like, there are,
Well, lucky you that you're blessed, you don't have bigger issues. Like, hopefully it stays that way.
It's true.
We'll carry the load.
Well, yes, exactly.
I'm like, and in that case, do I have a back break?
Yeah.
So
all right, what's going on?
You were mentioning Anna Faris, and it's just so sad. Anna Faris and Chris Pratt announced their divorce this weekend. Very sad, but it is amicable. They're happy with it.
They have
so they say. They have a baby together, and it is sad to see, another Hollywood marriage go to shit.
This is my thing, and I could rant about this the whole thing, but Anna Faris also has a podcast, which I really like. And so a couple months ago, she kind of addressed some of these rumors, and she was like, no, we're good, and this is just the press that puts it out there. And I'm like, bitch.
They always say that.
You are so full of the shit? Like, you guys have been fucking breaking up for a year. I don't know why these people. That's the thing that pisses me off. It's like,
Right.
I don't come on here and talk about how my relationship is so glamorous. No. One week I love him, the next one I want to kick him out. That's
Right.
what real life is. But
Exactly.
these people come out and they all pretend,
No, we're fine.
oh, I'm like, girl,
happy.
shut the hell up. I'm like, I don't even care you're getting divorced now.
Tell us
Good
about
luck.
real life. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this goes along with a new study from, they're saying the millennials are now talking about their happy divorces and they're taking divorce selfies. So they're trying to do a new face of divorce because everybody hates divorces. But now they're taking selfies with each other and they're saying, hey, we just got a divorce. It's a happy thing. And millennials are all about it. They're just trying to,
Do you think divorce is ever amicable, really? It's not.
I
I
think
think
it can
it
still
can
be
be.
friends. Your mom is still friends with your
Oh, yeah,
her
they-
new ex-husband. This is not your father, your stepdad.
Right. They go out to eat like every weekend. Yeah.
As friends.
They just didn't want to live together.
You know what I'm concerned about?
I'm like, okay.
I have a friend, one of my best friends, Erica Gutierrez. I went to her wedding in my last serious relationship
Okay.
in Miami. She's since got a divorce and she's engaged again with a new wedding date, and I'm still not in a new relationship. What the fuck? Wait a minute.
This was always me in high school.
I'm sorry, I just had that little moment. I'm like, huh.
This is me in college. I was like,
Interesting.
this girl got cheated on she cheated on her boyfriend. And I can't even get a text back. Like, I can't even get one guy to look at me, but yet this girl has a boyfriend and is cheating on him with another guy.
Oh, I know. Well, that's how it always happens. I know.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Which
it's
is
the same
shocking
thing.
that you're like super hot. I don't know how you're not getting
No,
anybody.
I just didn't.
That's so weird.
It would come a long
Were
way.
you ugly then?
I think I went through like this. You know when people like have peaked in high school?
You
I
used the
most
U
certainly
word?
did not.
You used the U word? Oh
joke.
my God.
a
Let the
joke.
letters roll.
No, I'm gonna do an Instagram post to you about how you used to be ugly, now you're hot. I still
People
like
can
you.
change. You know when you have those awkward phases? Well, I went through
Yes,
a long,
so me too.
one of them.
Me too.
Which everybody changes. We're changing all the time.
I wish there was a trip in my life when I was 190 pounds, but nobody was writing to me that I looked gorgeous. They were like, one less Twinkie. No, it's like the truth.
Stop eating those. Oh god. Well, now that I
fine.
work in an office, they're just always bringing in snacks, and I work at a news station, so all the anchors are so skinny. But I watch them eat. But eat what I eat whatever. I'm like I am active and I eat and I'm happy. So
Good.
You
That's
look
what it should
amazing.
be.
You look amazing.
Thank you, Paul. And secondly, I have a new update on Tiger Woods. His hearing was today after he got May 29th, the incident when cops found him passed out behind the wheel.
Oh, yeah. What's going on with him?
So he's struck a deal in his DUI case. He's agreed to enter DUI diversion program for first-time offenders. And he's scheduled to go before a judge in Palm County early Wednesday morning, which is actually probably happening as we speak. And so, yeah, he decided to go to a rehab center and he's going to get help. And it's
Good. He needs it.
We're doing...
I'm just going to say it, but I do think he's kind of cursed at this point. I think his dad died, and I think that
It's all gone to shit.
he couldn't handle it. I think he lived a fake life for a long time. I think he's got major issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's all. Yeah. So goodbye, Tiger Woods. We moved to these topics.
What
like,
happened to
we're
Elin?
Yeah.
Elin is chilling.
she's chilling.
She got
She's
about
living her
400 million or
life.
something.
Yeah.
She's chilling for life.
I mean,
Damn.
she won that whole thing. She was like, deuces, I'm rich now.
Are we talking about Usher?
Oh, I
no,
hope
I'm
so.
not. Do you want to talk about it?
I want to talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, did y'all see the press conference with Gloria Allred's daughter and the woman? Okay, now...
And by the way, Usher this morning
Right.
is getting ready to countersue the
Okay.
woman that came out. We can get into a whole nother issue of fat shaming. The woman that came out was...
they had something for her ass on Twitter, didn't
Oh
they?
my God. I mean, people were
it's
so
just, like,
cruel.
so horrible.
So cruel. Basically, there was like,
She
there's
set
no
herself
way.
up.
And Usher says that no,
But
she
wait.
wasn't his type, and he did not have sex with her. And by the way, she doesn't have herpes, so I don't know how you can sue. I mean, no offense to her, but
He called me 30 minutes later and asked me my hotel room. He came over, and after engaging in light conversation, we engaged in sexual activity. Although I am negative. What? Wait, hold up. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me you holding a press conference because you slept with Usher? How do you know Usher was positive for herpes at that time? And how do we, and if you were positive, how do we know that Usher's the one who gave it? It just didn't make any sense.
here's a little bit of the press conference.
Yes.
As a woman.
I think he had
Although
sex
am
with her, though.
negative, I was upset by the reports because I would have never consented if I would have known. I would not have taken the risk of getting an incurable disease. My health is very important to me.
Oh, God.
Does she look healthy?
especially now that I am a mother.
Oh,
I feel that my rights were violated. I'm speaking out today on behalf of myself and others, some of whom are positive and are embarrassed to speak out publicly.
Okay.
I am doing this so that he does not do this to anyone else. Usher, if you are negative, please say so. If you are positive, you need to warn your sex partners so that they can make their own informed decisions. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, you know, I'll tell you. This
Paul did a really
reminds
good
me
impression of her.
Of a Maury Povich, right? It reminds me of Maury Povich. And you know what I never really understood about Maury Povich?
What?
You
It's all fake.
You
but-
are the father. You are not the father. Right. Who the hell is talking about using condoms? What is wrong with y'all straight people? How come everybody's running around,
I know.
you know, having raw sex? You cannot bareback like that. It's not. It's rude.
I mean,
Frankly,
honestly,
it's rude.
Do you expect this? I feel like all the celebrities, it's like Jim Carrey. You know, Jim Carrey's ex-girlfriend that ended up taking her own life, and her parents are suing because he had all kinds of STDs, didn't tell her, gave them to her. It's like these. Of course, celebrities have sex with so many people. They all have STDs. Like, look at Charlie Sheen. The dude's HIV
Yikes.
positive. I mean, come on. Charlie
But-
Sheen is such a man whore. You didn't think if you were having sex with him that he had, like, I mean, I don't even know how his dick's still on.
But this woman is saying that she would never have consented to having sex with Usher if she knew he was positive for herpes. Well, she didn't ask. I mean, he could have been positive for anything.
Yeah, I
so
agree.
Did she have unprotected sex with the
Yeah,
man?
that's what she's saying. Usher, by the way, has come out and made a statement. He says in no way, shape, well, he hasn't made a statement. A source close to him says that Usher told sources that he plans to sue Lisa Bloom, who's the attorney, and his accusers. But I think he does have herpes because I think he already settled one case. I don't know. Poor Usher's. And if he does have herpes and he gave it to them, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's awful.
So
You know, I went on a date with this guy once in New York, and we were in a cab heading to my house, you know, after we had been out drinking, and we were heading uptown, and he says, "Hey, I got something to tell you." This is going to make me sound awful, but he said, "I got something to tell you."
I love these
herpes.
stories.
He's like, "I got the herpes." And I was
Yikes.
like, huh? I was like, "Well, the kind on your lip?" He was like, "No, the other kind." He said, "The other kind." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." Thank you for telling me. 2 stops. I said to the driver, 2 stops.
And
because
we are
I knew
out
we were
of
about
here.
to pass by Hell's Kitchen,
Yeah.
which is where he lived. And I just wanted to get my action on that night, but I didn't want to, you know, have anything lingering after that. So I
Right.
just said 2 stops, and he looked at me like I was crazy. I dropped him off, and I said, "I got it. I'll cover the cab."
Look at you. And then did you go to somebody else's house?
I give him
Oh, yeah.
credit. I give him credit for telling you. I think that's great.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because he could have got
You
some
gotta be
action
open.
that night if he hadn't have told me. Now, thank God, I was, you know,
Maybe
after all
he
these
had
years,
the-
I haven't gotten anything.
compassion.
Thank the Lord.
I know.
Of course, I'm
it's-
pretty safe though.
Well, good.
Yeah.
All right. Any other stories that you got for
No,
us for
we're
pop
good.
culture?
We're good to go. Usher, yeah, we got it wrapped up.
I love it.
I
All
love
right.
it.
Thank you all.
So.
We had to do a quick one today because you guys have so much to talk about.
I know we
do
did have a lot to talk about. Where can
about.
people
Talk about.
follow you? Because you do great impressions. Where can people follow you online and see the
Tell me
before?
one of your voices.
Yeah. Are your voices appropriate? Have we weeded out the ones that are ethically appropriate? Like,
Yeah, I think so. This is surprise guest Kourtney Kardashian. Follow me on
That
all
one's
the
okay.
impressions. Yeah, this one's like totally
you do a good Trump.
kosher.
We're done here. My Instagram.
So good.
We don't have time for losers. Follow me, Instagram, Andrea Lopez Impressions. I'm out. Goodbye.
AJ, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God!
Thank
all
you
right,
all.
Paul.
Yes.
Is there any place that do you have any events coming up? Anything that you want to promote? Because I like to when I'm promoting something, I like you too, so then I don't seem like a shameless plugger.
Oh, look how the tail. You know what, Sarah? I don't have a single thing to promote. I'm going to make this all about you because I'm magnanimous in that way.
Don't do it. Well, look,
We have girls' night out on Saturday night.
Yes, we have girls.
Yeah.
That come to that. There's still tickets. You know where you can get tickets? This is Sean Yancey. If you're obsessed with Fox 5,
Oh, everyone from Fox 5 will be there.
everybody.
GNO by SeanYancey.com. Girls Night Out. GNO by Sean, SHAWN, Yancey.com. Check it out. Tickets still available. It's going to be a fabulous night. Sarah and I are hosting the fashion show. You can check out PaulWhartonBeauty.com. Since I have the opportunity,
Yeah.
might as well plug plug it. Listen, I had this new tagline because I'm traveling all around this summer.
Okay.
And I take my skincare products everywhere. I took them to Italy. I took them to Grey Gardens. And I say, hashtag, see the world, not the wrinkles. PaulWhartonBeauty.com.
I love that.
I'm
right?
a fan.
Oh my God, that is so good.
Because this face is good, isn't it?
It's so good.
If you want that, check out PaulWhartonBeauty.com. See the world, not the wrinkles.
I love that. Awesome. Well, you can catch us Saturday, and then also this entire month, Dolce Gillette in DC at their Shaw location. I teamed up with them with some other influencers, and we're doing a Gelato contest. So whoever sells the most Gelato, 10% of the proceeds goes to a charity of their choice. So I love Active Minds, which helps people with mental illness in college, depression, if you're having an eating disorder. So I actually created a vegan plant for vegan chocolate pudding gelato. It's really good. I got to bring it in.
Yeah, we should have had it on the podcast. I want to try it.
We can go to it's only at the Shaw location, so please go buy it. Buy it. Because the money, part of the proceeds will go to Active Minds, but it's only at their Shaw location, and I swear it actually tastes like chocolate gelato.
I love it.
And it's made with avocado. It's really good, and it's non-dairy.
How come I feel like vegan is a 4-letter word today? We got to get past this, people.
I know.
Can't we just all have to
Yes.
celebrate each other's choices?
Absolutely.
You know?
And I'm also going to be doing an event there next Thursday night. So if you want more details, go to Hey Frase Podcast. I'll be with 2 Instagram puppy stars, Sebastian and Luna. Which
Oh my God.
just seems like a really bad dog food commercial, but it's not. It's at Dolce Gillette. So if you're looking to try it, just come next Thursday to Shaw. It starts at 6 p.m. I'll get more details on my Facebook page. All right, Paul, anything else? Please plug something else. That just sounded like so...
Well, you pretty much took all the time. I think we have to wrap up now.
All right,
It's
perfect.
been real, but hey, check me out at Paul Wharton on Twitter, Paul Wharton Style on Instagram, and PaulWhartonStyle.com.
Love it.
For my blog.
Hey Frase everywhere, and you'll see us next week. You guys are amazing. Email us.
Fun. Bye, guys.
Bye, friends.
Phrase, what's the phrase that you hear every day? Hey, phrase, what's the phrase that you hear every day? Hey, phrase, what's the phrase that you hear? Tune in, yeah, you gotta tune in. Sarah Fraser on